An inclusive city is defined as a city in which the development process includes various citizens and activities. Zhenze is facing the challenges of urbanization development and cultural conservation at the same time due to its special location. There are also a number of people flowing into the city nowadays. We draw cross-section to show development process of Zhenze, including natural villages and farmland. Ancient town center with historic culture integrated. Factories for economic development. And gated communities built for newcomers and relocated farmers. Since 1991 to 2008, the urban population was stable. It may due to local people have been moved out to new districts of Suzhou, and aging population has become a problem in central town. However, the growth of rural population may be because of the large amount of floating migrants. By 2011, there have been over 30% of floating migrants in Zhenze. It is now a significant part of local development. There are 4 types of people in Zhenze. In village, there mainly lives old local residents and some new-coming workers. Local residents enjoy the free lifestyle here, while due to urban development, they are going to be relocated in gated community in the future. As for short-term migrant workers, they choose to live here because of the low rent. In the old town center, there live all 4 groups of people. For old local residents, some of them have moved out seeking for better living conditions and only come back during festival. Young local residents live here with family, while they yearn for more prosperous city life. Old migrants who moved here with family plan to live to provide better education for kids. Some migrant workers also live here because of the large customer flow, while they still want a better living condition. Most residents in gated communities are original villagers and migrant workers as well as businessmen who are relatively rich. Original village family moved there due to urban development. New-coming migrants were attracted by the decent living condition here. So the population flow trend shows that in the future, many local residents will move out from historic Asian town or even Zhenze. There will be more new-coming migrants, and people will prefer to live in gated community. Housing typology in village is mostly low-rise residential buildings. In historic Asian town, full-function residential buildings is the domain type. They are all low-rise housings with 1 to 3 floors. The density is very high and the space between each other is very narrow. A majority of these residential buildings were privately built and are all very adaptive. Every building is unique and caters for different housing needs. Most of them have the characteristic of courtyard. Communication and religious activities always happen here. Mixed-function building is another type. They tend to locate along the main road, serving for both attracting tourists and satisfying the daily needs of the local residents. Housing quality problem is very serious here, especially in 3-floor buildings. For example, collapse, broken ceiling, sanitation problem, darkness, and certain safety problem. Currently, many buildings are not underused. In peripheral area, gated community is a domain housing typology. Commercial residential communities tend to be high-rise buildings. Resettlement communities are mainly multi-story buildings. It is interesting to find that the garages in the community are not used for parking, but for living. Due to a majority of residents are old farmers, they are not able to climb high stairs and tend to live on the ground floor. Different renovation of garages contain a part of daily life of residents here. Many residents also change the usage of public space around the garages. For example, cultivating and drying vegetable, placing private stuff, and active neighboring. However, the garage is not proper for living and may cause problems such as fire disaster.
空可以弄一下，每个车做相头，你人性化一点，你一定不给他们做他们想象的这个东西，对吧？
我不生病，我们老早搬的，有条件的都搬走了呀。
有条件老早搬。
上呗，到时候呗，上的时间长一点呗，就回老家了。
乡下人们还种的地啊，种的蔬菜啊，5、6高，他们爬不上，他们就在底下找个装一下嘛，就住在车库里面，这样的。所以这个我们这个小区管理太难了，天梯小区没办法。
According to the future plan, there will be less villages and some will gather together. Factories will be concentrated. There will be more gated communities for relocated villagers and migrant workers. Finally, Zhenze is expected to be a cultural water town combined with ecological city, industrial city, and ancient town. Two threats exist during the development process. Firstly, because of the population is moving out from the ancient town, it might become a tourist island that's solely provided for tourists who will have no interaction with local residents or culture. Secondly, if not taken villagers' special needs into consideration, the gated community will be disordered and cannot fully meet their needs. In order to avoid these situations, the plan is suggested to consider more about the residents' needs in advance. In this way, for the topic of being an inclusive city, Zhenze should be developed for balancing local culture and economic benefits and meet different people's needs at the same time.